would be Saint Epiphanius and the Panarian humble servant. That would probably be the most famous one, in the sense of it being the most popular one. So that would be another one. That's a really, really early one. Saint Epiphanius is another really early one. And then we've got another good one is Quod Vult Deus from the 400s. So I've given you one 2nd century, I've given you one 4th century, and now I've given you one from the 5th century, which is Quod Vult Deus. Imagine that name. If I ever had a son, I would give him that name. Quod Vult Deus. What a name, man. What a titan of a name, right? Quod Vult Deus. That's a good one, man. That's a really good one. And then another really good witness would be Andrew of Caesarea, who, by the way, doesn't believe personally that the Theotokos is the woman, but he's early in showing that there are people before him that believed it was the Theotokos. He knew that there was a dual imagery there. By the way, he recognizes there's dual imagery, and he says before him, there are more than one. There's more than one person before him. There you go, man. I don't know why I couldn't find it, brother. Humble servant, how you doing, brother?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great, brother. I didn't know if it was really you, so I
No, it's okay. I'm just going to leave my camera off if that's okay.
No worries, brother. It's better for the audience, man. You don't want to scare people away.
Actually, I agree with that. I have a face for it.
I'm joking, brother. I'm joking.
No, that's the line I use. I love you, brother. I actually know you're joking.
I love you, brother. You know I'm joking, man.
No worries. Yeah, I do. I actually know you're joking. No worries. So the reason I asked that question, right, because I've been researching this. I know last time we spoke, we didn't talk about Rev.12. I specifically said I didn't talk about that day. No, I did. I said that. Now, I can't speak to what Adam said, but I did say that. So, all right. So can we agree that just off the top that now the name is tough for me too, bro. Quod Vult Deus. Yeah, Quod Vult Deus, right? That's not a church father though, right?
Yeah, he is. Sure he is.
He's a canonized church father?
Be a church father. He had early local veneration. In terms of being, I don't know if he's venerated by all of the apostolic churches today, but he's a church father. Yeah.
So
he's not a heretic like.
No. I'm not accusing him of being a heretic. That's a whole nother line of accusation. I'm not saying that, but for what I could understand, he wasn't a church father. Now you brought up Epiphanius, right? In the Panarion.
He is a church father. You're definitely wrong. He is in the calendar. Yeah.
I'll have to look that up because when I looked it up earlier.
For Catholics is the 26th or 27th of October. He's venerated. In fact, he's venerated in East and West. He's venerated. Yeah.
Okay. I know he's venerated as a saint. I'm not arguing if he's venerated as a saint. I didn't know he was a church father. So that's why I had that distinction.
From the 400s, brother. How could he not be a church father?
Like I said, I'll go back and I'll review that because I know about Quod Vult Deus. I know about him now, but Epiphanius, right? In the Panarion books 2 and 3, Epiphanius said he couldn't decide for certain. Because I went to look up the Panarion. So he doesn't actually, like, I've heard the affirmation of Epiphanius is early, and he actually doesn't, though. He says that he can't decide for certain. So I don't know if I would qualify Epiphanius as someone who is solid on that. Because I have the source.
So he says this could have happened in Mary's case. And he reads the Apocalypse. He says, elsewhere in the Apocalypse of John, we read that the dragon hurled himself at the woman who had given birth to a male child with the wings of an eagle. Yes. This could have happened in Mary's case. So he leaves it open-ended. Now, he doesn't hold on, brother. What he doesn't leave open-ended, he leaves that as an option, as a possible option of her being the woman of Revelation 12. What he doesn't leave open-ended as an option is the bodily assumption. He is as explicit as can be that Holy Mother Mary was bodily assumed into heaven. So whether or not he ever says, no, I'm convinced definitively she is the woman of Revelation 12. It doesn't really matter to us. He leaves that open as an option, and he says very clearly that she was bodily assumed. Those are his final words on the end of Mary's life.
One quick thing, I see Sam's in the chat. I'm not trying to talk over you. When you said stop, I did stop, right?
You're fine, brother. You're
fine. I just want to make sure. All right, so long as we're good. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So but we can agree though. In the Panarion that you sourced, it is not a 100% confirmation. We agree, right? Because you sourced it. He said he can't decide for certain, right? So that's not a confirmation.
He leaves it as an option.
Right. But so it's not a confirmation though. It's open-ended. So we cannot say that Epiphanius is confirming that.
Oh no. We definitely can say it's an option because he says it could have happened in Mary's case.
Agreed. I said it's an option, but he is not affirming it. It's possible.
Well, if it's an option,
an affirmation,
it's possible,
and a possibility, right?
If it's an option, it's possible. So we'll leave it at that. It's possible.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So, so other than Quo Do, which by the way, I'm sure you have the original. I can't find the original. Now, I did find the best apologetic.
You're not going to find any of these, brother. A lot of these were the only ones that have, brother. Look,
hold on. I just said I had Epiphanius. I have Epiphanius.
That's because Epiphanius is everywhere on the internet. All you got to do is Google it. But
right. I mean, but I have what sources Quo Do. I just couldn't find the source they said.
You have the source from Quod Deus. Name the
no. Listen to what I'm saying. I have an apologetic from the Roman Catholic Church that's no longer in print. That sources Quo Do. I don't have the original Quo Do. That's what I said.
So let me say this, humble servant, and I'm going to say this with all due respect, brother. A lot of these are very hard to find. And if you don't know how to do critical research, you're not going to find them.
Okay, now you're attacking my research when I have many church fathers that say that it's not Mary, and I have Catholic sources.
Can you read Greek or Latin?
Why are we talking about Greek or Latin instead of Rev.12? Because
I'm telling you, a lot of these are only handcuffed in Greek or Latin. So if you cannot do critical research, you're not going to be able to find these, brother. Period.
Even though I have Hippolytus, Victorinus, Methodius, Tychonius, Prismasius, Cesarius of Arles, Andrew Caesarea. Why are we talking about my research? I can source many church fathers, which I just did right now.
Because you can't find the Quod Deus one, brother. Brother, calm down.
Brother, I am calm, but you're insulting
Don't speak
me,
over me, brother. Don't speak over me, brother. Calm down. You're a little bit hyped up, brother.
I'm not hyped up. You just keep
calm down. Me. Stop speaking over me. Stop speaking over me. You're a little bit hyped up, brother. I'm going to repeat what I said, and my statement stands, brother. You cannot do any critical research. You are unable to read any of the languages. My point was simple. A lot of the quotes I have, you're not going to find them. By the way, people that are backstage, I keep getting the notice of people trying to join. Don't leave if you all want to come up. I'll bring you up in a moment. A lot of these quotes are difficult to find, my friend. With that being said, some of them are only available that I have or on Sam's blog. You can go and you can look at it. You can find it. The earliest interpretation of the woman of Revelation 12 is a Mariological one. And then we have Saint Epiphanius that also points to it as being an optional view. That's a possible view as Mary. Then we have multiple others, but here is the most important thing. The earliest extant Greek commentary in Revelation, Oikoumenios, is explicit that it's Mary. And that is the earliest Greek extant commentary in Revelation. And that is massive, that the earliest one we have identifies it as Holy Mother Mary and identifies her as being bodily assumed. That's enormous, brother. Enormous.
Can I speak now?
Of course. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, so again, first of all, you say I can't do critical research. I don't know. I think that's interesting as a claim. It sounds like poisoning the well, but we'll move forward.
No.
So Hippolytus, right? Hippolytus. How early is Hippolytus?
2nd century or 3rd, depending when he wrote it.
Right.
Third. So if it's his Revelation commentary, 3rd.
All right. So now, Hippolytus, is he not early?
Brother, I don't know what you think you're getting at. There are early fathers that believed that the woman was the church, and there are early fathers that believed it was Mary. I have no clue what you think you're getting at. No idea.
I don't want to talk when you talk because I get attacked if I speak as being out of character. So,
go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. So now we went over one of the 3 sources about specifically Revelation 12 that you brought up, which was Epiphanius. And I clearly showed that Epiphanius said he was not affirming that it was Mary. He only left it open-ended.
You are incorrect. That's one of the options. If it is one of the options, he's affirming that is one of the particular views you can take. You're wrong, brother. You're wrong.
But that doesn't mean he says it's possible, but he can't decide. So when you cite him as a support, he's saying, I don't know.
He still affirms, he still reads it in a Mariological manner and says this could have been Mary. That is important. This could have been Mary. But even if he provides multiple options, the important thing about Saint Epiphanius is a heresy hunter writing in the 4th century, one of the greatest defenders against heresies and Arianism, and he affirms the bodily assumption of Mary. Even if we go at the end of the day and say, well, he wasn't so sure about Revelation 12, what do you do with the fact that this guy that you're hearkening to taught that Holy Mother Mary was taken body and soul into heaven? That's a really difficult one to deal with. The fact that in the early church, they're teaching this from the earliest of times. Father Daly says it's built into the liturgy from the 2nd century.
Well, okay, to be clear, the actual quote from Epiphanius is, because we're talking about Rev.12, we're not arguing dogmatic bodily assumption. So in Rev.12, he says, perhaps this can be applied to her. That's actually what the quote says. Perhaps this can be applied.
This could have been the case for Mary, is what he says.
He says, perhaps.
Yeah, right. Now, so now we have, because he leaves it as a possibility that Mary is the woman of Revelation 12. If you have something else, I'm not going to be here for an hour, just an Epiphanius, brother.
I'm not. There are many church fathers who say this, right? But there's also Catholic sources who say that it's not Mary. Are those sources wrong?
There's Catholic sources that say that it's dual imagery.
No. I have Catholic sources that say it's later teaching.
Name one. Tell me one that it's later teaching, brother. Tell me one.
It's listed in one of your study Bibles that it's a later teaching.
But I could care less what a study Bible says. Quote a Mariologist that tells you that it's not an early reading of Revelation 12.
Okay, so if I quote a Catholic theologian that says it's not Mary, that's what you want.
Quote for me a Mariologist that says that it is not an early source either. I know all the Mariologists, brother. I know Carol. I know Carol from the Theotokos, and I know Carol from the Mariology series. I know all of the prominent Mariologists. I know who they are. And personally, I know all of the top Mariologists, the Reverend Dr. Daly, Dr. Brock, Father Coppitz. I know them all, brother. Name one that would make that argument that it's not an early reading. Name one.
All right, so I'm going to try again. Can I talk? So you said you wanted a Catholic theologian that said...
I want a Mariologist.
No. I'm going to use a Catholic theologian, right? So Dr. Peter Williamson says that it's Israel.
Brother.
He's also a contributor to Catholic Answers.
Dr. Peter Williamson, I know exactly who he is. You are wrong. In debate, Dr. Peter Williamson has said that it's also viewed as Mary, not only Israel. You're wrong, brother.
Can I source it? Can I source it?
You can look in the debate that he had against Dr.
No, I want to put it on the screen because I have it. Can I source it?
Brother, you can. Yes, just tell me. Share your screen, brother. Go ahead.
All right, sure. I'll source it. Also, just give me 2 seconds, okay?
I've got no idea what you're trying to get to, my friend. Your arguments are jumbled all over the place.
No. I'm talking about what Rev.12.
In the early church, humble servant, in the early church, you have both views. It's the church and it's Mary. We can agree with both of them, my friend.
I've shared my
problem. The problem that you have is exegetically, you cannot deal with the fact that clearly the earliest interpretation of Revelation 12 is a Mariological one. In the Bible, it's very clearly Mary there. And the other issue you have is the earliest extant Greek commentary on Revelation. The earliest one, Greek, my friend, from a Greek father, interprets it not only as Mariological, but as referencing Mary being bodily assumed into heaven, my friend. That's stuff that you can't deal with, brother.
I shared my screen. Can you share my screen? Or?
I'm hitting add to stage. It's not letting me, brother. Cool.
Okay, so that's Peter Williamson's commentary right there.
Okay. I have no clue what you want me to say, brother.
I mean, you have
no idea what you want me to say.
I mean, I sourced it right there for you. So again, I had the source there, and that's what he said. So it's not hidden from anyone.
Should I take Peter Williamson, or should I take a 2nd century source and then all of the other early fathers, including the earliest and the best commentary on Revelation from the fathers that say it's Mary? Where should I go? I think
every father doesn't say it's Mary, though.
I never once said that, my friend. I never said that. In fact, the argument that we've made from the very beginning, if you've ever paid attention, has been that there's multiple imagery there. You're not paying attention. There are multiple imageries there in Revelation 12. It is the church and it is Mary. We've said it many times over. My argument, and it stands, is that primarily from Revelation 12, it is Mary because the woman is giving birth to a historical figure. That historical figure is the Messiah. And in history, Holy Mother Mary gave birth to a physical figure, the Messiah. Primarily, it is Mary. Is it the church as well? Of course. Early fathers had multiple views of this, my friend. Nobody's arguing that. I agree with that.
Okay, let me just show one more thing then, and then I'll
brother,
I'll
I'm not sharing your screen anymore, brother.
Wait, so you're actually not going to let me support my argument? Is that just so the audience knows?
Brother, you didn't come here.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That works for me. That works for me. You're good. You're good.
You didn't come here to present slides or what have you. You
No,
came
I
here to
just
ask
you asked
questions
for my
debate.
supporting evidence. You
And
asked
so
for supporting
far, what
evidence.
you have done, is you've shown up, you've told the audience, well, there's early fathers that believed it was a church as well. What have you accomplished?
Well, I've
agree.
accomplished proving you won't let me
I
show
have
the
agreed.
sourcing.
No, my friend, what you've accomplished is nothing. You've accomplished what we've said. There are
Thank
early
you.
fathers that say it's the church, and there's early fathers that say it's Mary. The earliest interpretation is a Mariological one. And you brought up Andrew of Caesarea, who doesn't help your case. He tells you that before him, there are people that thought it was completely the Theotokos. He recognizes people before him, predate him, taught it was completely Mary. So there are fathers that taught there was multiple imagery. Some taught it was Mary alone, and some taught that it was the church alone. Guess what? The imagery of the church and the imagery of Mary, they're complementary, brother. They go hand in hand, my friend.
Well, no, I mean,
I can't contradict one another.
I can't dialogue anymore. Thank you for letting me up. I mean, I try to speak. I don't want to be.
I don't know what you're trying.
I'll review this on my channel, and I thank you for your time, brother. May God bless you, and have a great day. Okay, brother. Thanks.
What are you trying to prove? Oh, like he ran. All right, he had nothing to say. Wasn't able to prove a thing. Had absolutely nothing to say. Nothing at all to say. Oh well. Who do we have backstage? Let me see. Wasn't able to make any case. Wasn't able to say anything.